A family member died today. Someone just lost everything they spent 20 years building. A child is born crippled. Another is sexually abused for years and now relieves their paranoia daily. They never feel safe. One race has been exploited for centuries, with all their revolutionaries killed and replaced with puppet leaders. But let's not even go far. You've been job hunting for months or hustling for a big break for years. Your efforts don't bring results. Your successes don't last. Your lover has no respect for you. You feel neglected and alone in this big, tiny world. So you pray and nothing changes. And you begin to wonder again if there is a God. And if there is this the best they can do? Why do bad things happen to good people? I've looked for answers for years. Now here's what I've found. Answers that might comfort you in the strangest ways and questions you need to ask yourself if you want peace. Number 1, the Creator is not a good person. When bad things happen in the world and to us, does our Creator care? Or are we in hell already? And what about all the good we do? Shouldn't it count for something? Or are the people who act out their own recklessness daily smarter than us like they would like to believe? I had this blog in my drafts for years before I even published it. When I finally did, I realized that there were many people who were seeking some order from the chaos of existence, just like I was. The reception to it set the stage for this podcast back in 2020. Why is there so much pain in the world? Why do we work so hard to live good lives in such a cruel world? And if everything is so fragile, does any of it matter? Does anyone care? If we are going to lose everything, why do we even bother? Greetings, agent. Welcome to the underscore. As long as humans have lived, we've asked these questions. Let's figure this out together. If you live long enough, you will watch all your worst fears come to life. We all know it, and there's nothing any of us can do about it. But we respond to this threat differently. You have your own habits for coping when your world is collapsing and all your expectations fall short. A friend told me that she just goes to sleep. Everything worth anything comes with the risk of being lost and leaving us feeling sometimes more empty than when we didn't have it. When I was 6 years old, I cried my eyes out one night when it dawned on me that I would also die. Spare me, God, I cried. I don't want to die. If you live long enough, you will watch all your worst fears come to life. And if you are brave enough, you will find new things to fear after conquering your old ones. Is all our time alive just a response to the fact that we can't control this universe? Why bring us here if there is so much out of our control? Or are there better questions and better answers to all the pain in this world? Some might say there's no one in charge and this world is all chaos. Others might say everything is going according to our Creator's plan. What do you say? What do you think is going on? How do you accept all the pain in this world? Let's find the underscore. The popular opinion about the creator of our universe is that this God is good. After all, there's no discrimination in nature. Like the rain doesn't pick where to fall to spite anyone, etc. But what if this also applies to pain? We tend to avoid pain and unpleasant situations, but all of us, including you, are destined for some measure of pain, and there is no escaping it. In many cases, trying to escape it actually makes it worse and becomes self-inflicted harm. I don't know if you can relate to that. Am I saying that this creator included pain in the design of this world? Yes, because if you want to accept the existence of a higher power, you also have to accept that they are not answerable to you. When you kill a mosquito, you are not thinking about its relatives. Are we entitled to special treatment from this supreme being for acknowledging them? Many Muslims and Christians think that following Jesus or Allah means they will never suffer. Unfortunately, such people just ignore the parts of scripture they don't like. The truth is, both books are full of the suffering of people just like you. The first time I thought about it, I was studying the Bible's book of Job. The story is also in the Qur'an. I grew up being taught that I could make demands from my creator. And if I wrote a good code, the script would run. Like God was a compiler, right? And all I had to do was, say the right prayers and not sin, then abracadabra. People like me were taught to hold God to his word, and if we didn't get what we wanted, we were the ones doing something wrong. God is perfect, I am sinful. That's the idea. Now, Job was described as a deeply spiritual Arabian man. He was the first to come clean, always ready to make sacrifices on behalf of others. But then he suffers even more than people less pious than himself, without any explanation or warning. For the first 2 years of my life in uni, I tried to pray and believe my way into good grades. Did it work? Of course not. I failed woefully. I carried over 3 courses. After 37 chapters of Job experiencing and philosophizing with his friends about his pain, the writers say that God scolded and taught him to be humble and patient. I say God nearly slapped him. You can find that in Job 38 in the Bible, and I'll get the surah for you and include it here. Many times in the Bible, you see authors stressing that the owner of the universe, as Yoruba will call him Eledumare, will not spare anyone pain just because they asked nicely or brought a bribe. This creator told Moses that the deformed and sickly were not a mistake. Moses was born a stammerer and banned from Canaan after his 40 years of labor. The same creator killed a king's innocent baby as punishment to a father. This creator also asked his friend to cut his penis and kill his son, destined 2 men's lives for damnation, and killed his own son. If you don't know who I'm talking about, the friend was Abraham. The men destined for damnation were Pharaoh and Judas Iscariot, or Ramses II, as you might know him. Those stories are both in the Bible and the Quran, but you won't find Judas Iscariot in the Quran. So, can we use human scales of morality to decide who God is? And if we can't, are they using those scales to judge us? Why do bad things happen to good people? I'll round up with a story and a quote. I told you I carried over 3 courses. After failing for 2 years straight, I felt defeated. School was a tiny part of my life. In fact, I didn't even want to go to school. I just wanted to make music. But it was still significant because I wasn't the one paying the fees. And I guess I had a decent understanding that I would need that, or I could use the degree. But I was really frustrated because my efforts were not paying off. I asked myself, why, like, what am I doing wrong? If I'm so smart, why can't I get good grades? And what I found led me down a path that ended up becoming a life-changing experience for me. So I graduated with a 4.2 CGPA, and my highest GPA was a 4.83. Now, for someone who carried over 3 courses, you don't really expect much. Once you hear carryover in uni, it's just like, like this one, they'll make like grave mistake, and people hardly recover from those things. But for me, I went down a journey of discovery, and everything I found, I documented in a guide, or as I call it, a recipe that I called Ewa Gonyan Dodo, the recipe for the happier students. And the result of that, my findings ended up changing so many students' lives that have come after me, that my pain at that time today is no longer relevant. Like, in the grand scheme of everything that I thought every suffering I thought I was facing, or every unfair experience I thought I was having, the reward to my life to be able to show students that are like me that, look, this is actually what you were doing wrong, and if you do A, B, C, D, E, you will get this result every time. It far outweighs any pain I thought I was feeling at the time. And so my quote is, nothing you did led to your life. Everything you do leads you to your death. Both are instant, unfolding and remolding. So how can you apply this today? When your mind wanders, you might end up in uncomfortable places. You may worry about your fears or relive the tragic moments that scarred you deeply. Maybe you're looking for comfort from the terrible situation that probably attracted you to this episode. Or you might ignore such thoughts while they torment you still. For me, I enjoy dreaming about my worst fears. Some of them have happened, and the gift of being able to mentally prepare beforehand has made all the difference. Ignorance causes us pain because we can't know everything. We don't even need to know everything. We feel pain when we can't control a situation, don't we? So, is the situation the problem, or is it our interpretation of it? There's a quote by Seneca that we suffer more in imagination than in reality. So if we can find new eyes to understand every situation, our pain changes form. The tragedy remains, but the suffering doesn't have to. And everywhere you go, pain is going to be there. But purpose is turning pain into power. That is a direct quote from my Ewagoyin book. Those new eyes you get will only come from wisdom, not other people's thoughts in your head. You can't control the majority of the situations you will be in, but what you want is to be proud of your responses to them. Isn't that right? And that only happens when you are facing every pain that life brings you head on. Because without pain, wisdom is worthless. There is nowhere to run or hide. Pain is your birthright. Wield it.
I do not see a way.